folks, welcome to day 2. It's Yasmin and you're very welcome. It's Get Paid for What You Know challenge. And so here's the first thing that I want to say to you today, right? Really great start to day 1. Thank you so much for participating and for joining in. It's absolutely brilliant to see, and I'm loving seeing the lists coming through as well for all of you who are sharing what it is that you love doing and what you absolutely love. But please, the secret in these kinds of challenges is to keep that momentum going, which is why I'm deliberately keeping the videos as short as possible and yet still deliver the message and get you to do these small actions, because I suppose that's what Tiny Time Big Results is all about. It's about those small actions done consistently. And when you can do them consistently over a 5-day period, then, you're already miles ahead of, the rest of the pack. So that's what I wanted to say first of all. Is please, do show up, watch the video and take that one action that I'm going to ask you to do. I'm not going to ask you to do a ton of stuff every day, but I am going to ask you to really focus in on this, because for me, it's interesting when I talk with potential clients, I'm just randomly talking to people. This is kind of the way that my head gets wired up, and I'm always looking to see what people know, what, they could actually get paid for. And so the purpose of this challenge is to really take what's in your head and think, how could I monetize this? How could I turn this into a lucrative business? And whether you have a business right now that's in a particular direction, I want you to see how you can really, leverage that. I think that's a really key thing, because Tiny Time Big Results is about leveraging your time and leveraging your expertise. So think about getting you to think about the different ways that you can leverage your expertise and the knowledge, experience, and expertise that you have. So day 1 was all about what is it that you love. And it wasn't a case of, okay, but I can't really do that in a business or anything like that. It was just a pure all-out love fest, if you like. What is it that you really, really love doing? So when I think about what I love doing, there'll be things like reading, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks. Like for me, that's what I do when I'm cooking the dinner, for example. I'll be listening to podcasts and radio, programs and audible books and YouTube videos. I'm always really interested in learning. I love cooking, I love baking, I love reading, I love watching property programs, I love watching food programs, I love walking, I love yoga, and there's so many things that I love doing. And the thing is, when it comes to your business, when it comes to designing a business, it's about having all of those things in the back of your mind, because in one way, shape or form, you will actually be able to integrate those things into your business step by step, slowly. It doesn't mean that you just kind of like all singing and all dancing immediately, but I promise you, it really is possible. So I just want to plant some seeds in your mind, okay? So today's challenge is all about your talent, your skills, and your gifts. What is it that you do really well? Okay, so this is different to what you love, because I can love baking, but my cakes tend to sink. And the way that I get around that is I cover them in icing. So I won't be on Bake Off anytime soon. But when I think about what I do well, then that's a whole different kettle of fish. I love cooking, and I am a good cook. As my son always tells me, you're a good cooker woman. So I do that very well. Baking, not so much, because it's a bit more precise, and I'm more of a fling something in and fling something in there. Hi Tina, how are you, lovely? So, so there's a difference between what you love doing and then what you do really well. So this is your opportunity to take an inventory of your skills, talents, and your gifts. So how do you differentiate with all of those things? So when I think about talent, it's something that comes innately to you. And it's something that, maybe you're a really good communicator. Maybe you're a really good writer. Like sometimes I read people's blogs and I'm like blown away by the quality of their writing. Now, I'm assuming that it's a talent that they have, like it might be a skill that they've honed. But a talent I see as something that you've always known, you've always done, really well with it, even as a child, if you think back. I'll give you a little secret here, right? When I was a little girl, I used to teach in my bedroom. And my dad still reminds me to this day of how I completely destroyed the back of, like, you imagine the back of the door there, but it was a wooden door. And I used to use it as my blackboard. And I would be in there for hours teaching. And look what I'm doing now, I'm teaching. So there's certain things that you will, if you look back enough, you'll see that there were certain things that you were doing consistently. And those are the things that you want to be picking out from a talent perspective. Like, this is the stuff that I do really, really well. And then when you're thinking about your skills, think about where you've worked, the jobs that you've had, the qualifications that you've got. This is really an opportunity for you to kind of really look at everything and go, holy moly, I'm actually really, really talented and really skilled. These are all the things that I want you to be thinking about. Like, okay, I worked in, so I used to work in a supermarket. I was a checkout girl when I was at college. I've worked in charity shops. I've worked in corporate. I've worked in, as coordinator levels. I've worked as, manager and vice president. Like, there's tons of things. Like, I'm using my own self as an example. So I want you to think about for yourself, like, what are the skills that you have gained, over the years? Because I think this is the challenge sometimes when we think about our business and you think, okay, well, I'm just doing this now, and you forget about everything that has already come before. Okay, so then so that's talents and your skills. And gifts, I think, kind of fall a little bit in the same section as talents, but just think about the gifts. Are you particularly gifted with anything? Like, do you have a sixth sense? Do you have a sense of heightened empathy? Do you have just an intuitive sense about something that when you're, if I'm cooking, it feels very intuitive to me. I kind of might look at a recipe a few times, and then after that it kind of feels really a part of me. So I kind of, I suppose, integrate the recipes very quickly. I love cooking. I love food. So that for me is, I think, is a talent, is a gift, because not everyone has that. And this is the key thing, because when you're looking at this list, if you're looking at that going, well, everyone has that, then this is the big red flag that you need to be really paying attention to, because when you start saying things like other people can do that, or everyone else can do that, they don't. They really don't. Like, I remember having a conversation with this guy, and said, like, well, we were talking about making shepherd's pie. And I said, well, you put the potatoes on the hob or use a steamer. And he was like, what do you mean put them on the hob? And I was like, well, put them in a pan and on a hob. And he says, and what do you put in the pan? And I was like, water. And he went, oh, right, okay. And how much water do you do? And he literally did not have a clue about what that meant. And so for me, it would be like, yeah, I need to cook the potatoes. I'm going to need water. I'm going to need heat. And so, it's the same for you, that when you're looking at how you do something and you think, yeah, that's fairly self-explanatory. It's not. It really isn't. So please don't fall into that trap, because that really blocks income from you. That blocks the abundance and prosperity from you, because you're assuming, because it comes easily to you, that it comes easily to everybody else. And it really doesn't. Like, my husband is brilliant at, like, he's amazing with using his hands on the house and like DIY and all that kind of stuff. Like, absolutely amazing. He's a farmer. And so they're always like flipping MacGyver, like, making him and his dad between like making pipes and putting them together and, fixing stuff. Like, they are phenomenal at that kind of stuff. That stuff does not come easily to me at all. I'll be there like kind of going, huh? I'll be looking at instructions and going, huh? I don't get it, So, but he takes that for granted. I know well he takes that for granted, because I hear him saying, oh, anyone can do that. And I went, they can't. They really can't. So when you're making your list, that's what you're going to be doing today, is you're going to be looking at answering the question, what do I do really well? Okay, or what do I do well? You don't even have to do it really well. What do I do well? Okay, and think about it from that perspective of your skills, your talents, your gifts. Just do skills and talents if that makes sense to you, that, things that you've learned and things that you feel like come naturally and easily to you. And that's all I want you to do, because what we're doing over the 5 days is we're building a picture. So keep the piece of paper from day 1, and then make sure you keep the piece of paper from day 2, and because we're building a picture here. And that's all I want you to do, is ask yourself this question: what do I do well? and then write it all down again. Write for 5 minutes solidly. Don't censor yourself and just write it all down. And I promise this will make sense. I want to make sure that we do this one step at a time. If you have any questions, I can see there's people watching live, so be sure to say hello in the comments box. If you're watching this as a replay, because I have to go to the airport, that's why I'm doing this a little bit earlier than I normally would do. But if you are, if you have any questions, ask away. And if you're feeling brave, like yesterday, put your list down here. And so one of the things that I'd love to be able to do is, as we build this picture over the 5 days, is to be able to help you see what you just can't see for yourself. Okay, so if you'd like to take part in that, then start putting things down, start sharing in the group, because it's a safe place for you to share, and start talking about, okay, actually, do you know what? There might be, somebody might see something in what you do that you can't see for yourself. And that's a really powerful place to be. So that's all that you're going to be doing for today, is what do I do well? So yesterday was what do I love doing? And today is what do I do well? Pop your questions, your comments, your list below, and I will pop back in later and I will have a look, and then roll on day 3. So, my lovely, hey Mary, how are you, lovely? And I will talk to you later, and tomorrow I will let you know what time the live stream is going to be on. This week is all a bit crazy because yesterday was bank holiday here in Ireland. My husband and I went out for a meal for the first time in ages, and we're having a lovely time. We went for a drink afterwards, and then I got a call from my sister. Little Miss had been sick. Can you come home? And I was like, oh. So it was a great way to end the evening, was coming home, clearing up puke, and then she was sick several times during the night. She was going to the toilet several times a night. So this is a pretty tired looking face, and so now I have to go to the airport. So it's a bit busy at the moment. It's a bit hectic, but usual stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on for us, and I'm doing a VIP day later this week as well. So I need to fit all the live streams in to make sure that you all get what you need from me as well. So pop your questions and thoughts below, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye.